A common misunderstanding in Canadian immigration is the belief that holding a valid visa guarantees entry to Canada. It does not. This video explains why a visa and permission to enter Canada are not the same thing, and how entry decisions are actually made. A visa is an authorization to travel to Canada and seek entry. It allows a person to present themselves at a port of entry, such as an airport or land border, and request admission. A visa does not, by itself, grant the right to enter Canada. Entry to Canada is determined at the port of entry, after examination. At that stage, an officer must decide whether the person meets the requirements of the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act at the time of entry. This distinction exists because a visa is issued based on information available at the time of the application. Entry decisions are made based on circumstances at the time the person arrives in Canada. Conditions may change between the issuance of a visa and the moment of travel. During examination, the officer may consider whether the person continues to meet the requirements of their temporary status. This includes the purpose of travel, the intended length of stay, and whether the person is likely to comply with the conditions of admission. The officer may also consider new or updated information that was not available when the visa was issued. This can include travel history, prior compliance, or information disclosed during examination. This framework applies across different categories of temporary entry. Visitors, students, and workers may all hold valid visas or permits and still be subject to examination at the border. In each case, the officer must be satisfied that the person meets the legal requirements at the time of entry. It is also important to understand that airlines and other commercial carriers play a limited role. Their responsibility is primarily to confirm that a traveler has the required documents to board. The final decision on entry is made by Canadian border authorities. The fact that a visa does not guarantee entry does not mean that entry decisions are arbitrary. Officers are required to act within the law and make decisions based on the facts before them. However, entry is not an entitlement simply because a visa is valid. In summary, a visa allows travel to Canada, but entry is determined after examination at the border. Understanding this distinction helps explain why a person with a valid visa may still be refused entry, and why visa issuance and admission to Canada are legally separate steps in the immigration process.